Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it's time for our day one patch review. We saw a bunch of nerfs to Deathlight, Demon Hunter, Druid, kind of a little nudge to Rogue, I guess, and some buffs to Warrior. Did the meta change? Does it feel exciting, different? Is Symphony of Sins dominating? Is Rotten Apple Bomb the absolute meta breaker? On Ladder, well, we're going to go over my impressions as well as social media and all of that, and look at the little bit of data I have to give you my first overall impressions. But I'll give a hint. It's pretty frustrating. I feel like things just aren't changing because we're just not seeing the real cards that need to get nerfed. But we'll talk about it. And also, friendly reminder, we're on the road to, that the new sub goal of 69,420. It would be awfully nice if you hit that sub button down below, only if you feel like I've earned it, and make me go broke, as we're going to be doing a big giveaway when we hit that milestone. So I'll just say right away, Rotten Apple Bomb in over 6 hours of play and watching some other streams throughout the day. Never saw the card. I never saw it once. Nobody even bothered to play it because it's still just, I mean, it's gotta fit into a certain deck. And like, is Control Priest gonna run it? That's like the only control deck, and you're not running it like Undead Aggro Priest. So didn't see it, so not super dominant. But I do want to point out that every time there's a balance patch, it's always a good idea to type in a refund. Type in refund, if I can actually type there. Type in refund, it will show the cards that are available for dust refunds. And I will note that these Lich King signature cards are disenchantable for 3,200 dust. If you have them, just be warned, if you do disenchant it, they're really hard to get back. They're very rare. You can't craft them, but they're March to Lich King like signatures, and they look terrible. So I probably recommend doing it and just crafting like a regular one. But as I am a completionist, I'm holding on to my shinies. But yeah, I played for over 6 hours, mostly in standard, and I noted and felt the same way as a lot of pro players and people on social media tweeted, like Luna here, very shortly after the balance patch was announced, before we even went live. But the sentiment kind of stayed true, at least for me, while playing throughout the day, is, I don't know, man, these balance patches are like tiny slaps on the wrist. Rogue and Deathlight, probably Frost, both seem like they'll be top tier. I just want to play other classes for a change. And throughout my time playing, I had, turn 4, Evoker into Illidari, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness, this card's a 3/7, because the stats are so relevant. By the way, I won that game because I cheated 80 billion mana anyway, so it didn't even matter. But yeah, Hearthstone's a freaking broken game right now, but it just felt like it was a lot of the same old playing. Early on throughout the day, it was like everyone's just trying the greediest stuff. It was kind of pretty fun and crazy. But then as the day went on, it was like, oh, we're playing Demon Hunter, we're playing Death Knight again. Take a look at lower ranks, it looks like, yeah, everyone's just jamming Paladin and smarking and killing people because Disco Mall didn't get hit. And we have TikTok tweeting here, yeah, nutty Rogue nerf, a turn 4, 16/16 location. That 7 mana scribbling stenographer out there already. Like, it's just, I feel like they're nerfing around stuff, but they're even saying they're doing that. We'll talk about that in a second, looking at the patch notes. But if you were hoping for like a big significant meta change, I don't know if we're seeing it. Warrior, to me, didn't even feel great. It was also noted by TikTok, and I felt this seeing the card. The way it was played is, it's a nerf. This, like, changed my mind. They felt like, people are feeling like From the Depths is like a nerf. And you think about it, it's 1 mana less for the card, right? But you're losing 5 total mana cheat. You can get it off School Teacher. There is that high roll, but every time I had someone play this against me, it just didn't feel like that impactful like it used to be. I don't know. I feel like the best Warrior decks out there, and there'll be like some decent, the Menagerie and Rage stuff, like that was like 50-ish% before. I still think it's 50-ish% now, very likely. I don't think they're going to be running From the Depths. Didn't seem that good. It's just funny that they're so worried about, giving Warrior the good stuff. It's kind of crazy. It was also noted by Luna here. She's very active and, again, former runner-up world champion. Awesome player. I respect the hell of her opinion Reducing by 2 is so meh. I don't understand why they can't just give Warrior a good card. They have Imbued Axe. They have, you know, the Extractor, the 2-mana 1/4. That's busted. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty rough. And it's just like, you take a look at the patch notes and you look at like Courser, like, would it have killed them to make it 2 mana, right? Like, they even say it's the weakest of the rifts, but like, the stats, is that really that relevant on it? And from basing it, it didn't feel that way. It just, again, it felt bad. And like, again, from the depths is like another one where they don't really go all the way. It's just really weird the way with Warrior, but it makes a little bit more sense if you take a look at the top of the patch notes, where to me, this feels troubling to see like the difference between like what I read every day and what they're saying is overall the meta is in a pretty good spot right now. Like, they were happy with the meta. They thought it was pretty good before this. And if you look at HS Replay for this patch, you had like a bunch of classes sub 45%. They're still there. These numbers, I don't know how reliable they are. It's been less than 24 hours. But playing Warlock, I played Warlock. Symphony of Sins at 5 feels better, but it's like definitely still not even the best part of the deck I was playing. I was playing like a scam Warlock deck where I won a bunch in a row, then I lost a bunch in a row. It seemed very inconsistent. I don't know if I'll recommend it in tomorrow's video. And by the way, yes, we'll be recommending decks in tomorrow's video, so stay tuned for that. Always give it a couple days for things to settle. But it just feels like, yeah, not much has changed. The only numbers I really have to look at early on are on Donkey's side. If you look at across all ranks since the latest patch 26.2.2, it's kind of jarring. The best deck, Pure Paladin, didn't get nerfed, so that's to be expected. But in like 69% over 220 games, again, bad sample size. It's across like all ranks over here too. But again, a lot of people are gonna be frustrated about this, especially, you know, Disco Mall. I don't understand why they can't nerf this card. Like, I know, again, high legend, not super impactful, but the game's for everybody, and a lot of people would like to see that change. Regardless, Blood Decay, Big Demon Hunter, Undead Priest, we got Undead, Unholy Deathlight. Like, these are the best performing decks still, even after these nerfs. Like, these nerfs aren't significant enough to nudge these decks down to where maybe we'll start seeing Warrior pop up, because if you take a look at the decks people were playing, you go to actually Donkey's like main site, people are jamming Warrior like crazy, and it's like, it has its games, it does okay, but it's just mid. It's just a mid class. And for me, the big problem with Warrior still, and I'm going to keep saying it, is you're not playing Warrior decks. You're playing these vomiting minions and just trying to smart people down. There's no control aspect. It just doesn't feel like Warrior, even when it's like not even doing that great. So if I filter this diamond to legend, there's a lot less data, but it's still saying, you know, Deathlight, Priest, Undead Priest, the Demon Hunter decks are Pure Paladin, right? Like, it just feels very samey. And that's just because I feel like you take a look at this balance patch, outside of Sinful Brand, great change. I didn't see that once at all. And also Anubricon, definitely Druid seemed like it got hit. This I saw a lot less, which is a lot, you know, a good thing, but that's when they're nerfing the problem cards. Whereas Demon Hunter, they're not really nerfing Lady Athena, right? Lady Athena is the big problem card if you're taking a look at it there. Deathlight, it's just a whole, like, everything just works way too well. Lord Marrowgar, this card's still insane as a 2/2, you know, like Hawkstrider Rancher, again, that card just auto wins when you just play it on curve and it's not answered. And Evoker, right? Big DH, like, it's a 3/7, it lost to attack. Who cares? So I'm curious to hear how you guys felt about your first day. If it felt like impactful, it felt very different. Because for me in standard, at the very beginning, when people are playing like super greedy stuff, it was kind of fun. We're slamming like that Warlock deck, which is just, this deck is like the greediest pile of whatever I've played in a long time, if you want to know what I'm talking about. I have like removal of Defile and Drain Soul, and everything's pure greed. And yeah, you could do obscene stuff with slime, but the second the aggression comes down or you're getting burned out by solid alibis and burn mage, it's like, yeah, forget about it. And I just feel like I'm detached from the reality of this meta is in a pretty good spot right now before this patch went live. I just feel like there's so many unplayable classes, so many unplayable decks, and I don't see that changing. I still see Warrior being frustrating for the players that want to play Warrior. Shaman, non-existent. And Wild has its own problems where it's just pretty out of control with like all the quest decks, Kingsbane. You're not getting past turns 5 and 6 in Wild much, but this patch wasn't Wild-centric at all. No, that's a bit more of a rambly day one patch review for me, but honestly, it's just the way I've been feeling about the game. Like, I can have some fun. I just really wish they would like really spice things up and really start nerfing those cards that we keep facing over and over. And the fact that like, yeah, Sinful Brand got hit, that stuff, that shows that they can do that. I'd like to see it more, personally, because I'm pretty sick of facing that same old stuff, particularly, you know, Death Knight for the billionth time, or Shadow Step Rogue for the billionth time, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it in the comments below. I'll hit you guys up tomorrow with a bunch of deck recommendations. I'll try and get it spicy. I'll try and find some new stuff, but I think it might be a little bit challenging, as it really is. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.